Before I begin, I will request each and every one of you to stand up. Now imagine yourself, those 320 million children out in country who represent the population of underprivileged kids in India. Now I would request these two rows to just sit. These two, not this side. Oh, yeah. You represent that 4% of population of kids who do not get access to education, who do not go to school, who has never seen a classroom. Now I would request this entire side to sit. You represent that 48% of kids who go to school but drop out after 5th grade. Now, apart from these 3 rows, I would request each and everyone behind to sit. You represent those 76 number of kids who go to school but drop out after 10th grade. And now, this tiny number, all of you lucky ones, are the ones who went to school and finished college. And that is the reality of Indian education system. While I was growing up, there was a municipality school right next to my private school. And what I believed was they have the same resources, the same amenities and same exposure like we get. And that was my belief till college. But reality struck me when in second year of my engineering, I started teaching all this municipality school for 5 to 6 months. And the results that we got were very astonishing. Kids of 6th, 7th grade didn't know how to read and write basic numbers and alphabets. Girls were not allowed to study after 8th or maximum till 10th grade. Parents or siblings are involved in selling of alcohol and weed. We have seen kids in 6th and 7th grade who smoke and drink. Kids who flunk in 10th grade discontinue studies after that. And parents force their kids to work. Girls are married at an age of early at 17 and then they get early pregnancy, which leads to a lot of problems later on. Sources say that 5% of kids in the country gets the best education and 95% the worst. And those 95% kids are trapped in a vicious cycle which never ends. Because of our government policy to graduate each and every child at grade end, irrespective of he or she can read and write, a lot of kids stop going to school after grade 10th. Also because the parents feel that anyway the kid has to join me or help me work after grade 10th, then why not at an early age? Because for them, more hands are more ways of learning. So, whilst being with them for 3 to 4 years, we found out few loopholes which has actually been hampering the education system. First, being the infrastructure. A lot of these schools don't have proper classrooms. A lot of these classes are conducted in the corridors. Labs and libraries are like the almirahs of storerooms. The teacher-to-student ratio is 1:40 or 50. No pre-primary education. While a lot of our kids go to school when they are on mostly 3 or 4 age, these kids get to school when they are in 1st grade. So they are anyway behind the education system for 3 years. Lack of awareness in parents. A lot of these parents have usually grocery shop owners or balloon selling or rickshawalas. So they force their kids to go and work with them, which does not motivate them to study. Lack of execution. A lot of government school teachers are forced to work or act as policy execution, like getting records filled up, getting surveys done, making Aadhaar cards, voters cards, which leads to very little time in teaching. So to bridge this gap of potential and opportunities, making sure every child meets his best potential, we came up with this model which actually supplements the current education system, which we can go hand in hand with the government schools as well. So at SHWAS, we have two models, SHWAS learning centers and admitting a child to private school. Learning centers. In 2008, while we started teaching them, what we did was we rented a space nearby their community, and the kids would come to before or after the school. And we have paid teachers who come and teach them every day, keeping the ratio to 1:5. But at our center, irrespective of whatever the grade he or she is, if a kid is in 6th grade and doesn't know how to read and write basic alphabet, we would start teaching the kid from there. So ultimately, when the kid is in grade 10th, he or she knows how to read, write, do basic maths, and can pass the exams and ultimately don't stop studying further. That is how our entire process is. So this is one of our center where kids are learning computers. This is Chandrika, one of the girls from slums who cleared her grade 10th exam and is proudly with her parents and aspires to be a nurse. These are the art activities the kids have been doing. These are the two kids who studied at us at SHWAS and now are teaching younger kids from the same community. This is one of the centers where we have been educating street kids. These kids don't go to school, just come at our center to study. And our basic motto is to make sure they read and write and just express themselves, because we have seen that these kids have as much as potential as you and I have, just that they are not getting proper opportunities. Like, imagine, what did I do to be born in a family where I am? And what did you do? Nothing, right? And what did they do to be born in the slum where they are? It's just luck. Pure luck, right? Another initiative which we have done is the kids are doing really, really well. We have admitted them into private school by taking care of all of their education expenses, uniform, fees, stationery, everything. And they also come at our center to study with us every day. We have come with a lot of stories who tell us that we have so many bright kids in these dark slums. Like, being the younger child of two kids, Mehul was loved and pampered a lot by his mother. He lost his mother when he was 5. And while his brother and Mehul were recovering from the loss, their father abandoned them and got married again. Immediately, Mehul and his brother immediately took the stuff and moved to Gulbai Tekra slums of Ahmedabad with their maternal uncle and aunt. He had to start his life there from scratch 5 years ago. And what we have seen is that there's no child as intelligent as we have seen him. He scores 100 on 100 in maths. He plays chess. He goes in the evening to sell balloons with there's his scoring, winning a certificate from the school. That's the kids got an opportunity to be on a flight. So imagine a child from slum, had he not got this opportunity of going to a private school or getting exposed to so many things, he would have just been stayed there. Another brilliant example which I want to share is, Hansaben was born in a small town in Gujarat, where it was that daughters were not allowed to study. They just have to be home, do household chores and do cattle farming. And it was a pain for her. Soon she was married to a man in the town, and then they got these two beautiful kids. They moved to Ahmedabad for a better work and life. Her husband got a decent job and she started working as a maid. But during her first parents-teacher meeting, it was very embarrassing for her. That is, she did not understand what the teacher was trying to say. She was introduced to SHWAS through one of the volunteers, and where she came to drop the kids. And one fine day, she said that, why can't I also come and sit here and study every day for 2 hours? We totally supported her, and from learning kakko to alphabets to numbers, to now she can read and write books of grade 4 and 5. In this tenure, she also started to learn sewing machine to generate an extra income for her. And because she was doing very well, we also asked her to join as a teacher at SHWAS. So in the morning, she comes 2 hours to study by herself, and in the evening, she comes to teach the kids who are learning basics. So she left her job and now has become a teacher. So how incredible this story is of from broom to books, right? What education entirely did was change her life. One last and final story, which I feel is very strong, is of Kishan. So Kishan's father, Ganesh Bhai, works as a peon in a school, and his mother, Rekha Ben, is a housewife. So they came to us when Kishan wanted to take admission in grade 9, but did not have money, the financial problems. Kishan always had this thing of doing something big in life, had some spark in his eyes, so we immediately admitted him to the school and he started coming at our center. He passed his boards 10th, 12th with brilliant marks and now studies in a reputed college in Ahmedabad where all of us someday would want to study. He's learning languages like C++, Java, HTML, and soon will be able to make websites. Imagine how a slum kid meeting his potential. At SHWAS, we feel that the seed of education has been sown, and with proper sunlight and water, will surely get a fruit-bearing tree one day. I feel if each one of us just take an oath to educate one child in our lifetime, those 320 million children will not be left behind just because of lack of opportunities. Thank you.